Hello. So this is August 2020, and obviously a lot of children have been out of school for the past March, April, May, June, July, going on August, nearly 6 months. There's this big question: are we going back to school? Are we not going back to school? Should we reopen the school? Should we not reopen the schools? Will the schools stay open? Without being political, because that's not the purpose of this, it's interesting to understand and to see that there's a lot going on about basic hygiene that were a given regardless of whether there is or was or has been a pandemic. Basic, hygiene: wash your hands after each time you go, wash your hands several times during the day, don't put your hands where they shouldn't be, don't put your hands in your face, in your mouth, in your eyes, especially after you've touched surfaces that were probably not clean. But that's where herd immunity comes in. That's where we always used to put our kids out in the dirt to play, get the bugs in, get the gut biome and everything the way that it should be. So one of the things that I would propose to teachers, and something that I think will help a great deal, is look at your children and see how healthy they are. If they have these shiners or these big bags under their eyes, or they're blue circles under their eyes, if they're tired, if they're walking around with their mouths open, or if they're drooling, or they've got runny noses, one of the things these children are not getting, actually two things these children are not getting, is one, enough sleep usually, because they're not breathing appropriately, so therefore they're not getting the oxygen that they need, therefore they're not going to be as cognitively efficient, and also they're going to have a lot of cascading disorders and diseases. But you have to remember a very, very, very important thing. One of God's greatest gifts to us, and one of the things that our bodies do naturally, is reproduce nitric oxide. Nitric oxide, actually there were studies in the Massachusetts hospitals, studies with nitric oxide killing the COVID virus. It actually is a naturally producing gas that we produce in our bodies that can kill bacteria and is antiviral. So if you have your kids that are coming back to school and they're unable to breathe, make sure that you can follow through with why. The second thing that I'd like to bring to your attention is there is actually a method to breathe appropriately with a mask on if you need to wear one. It's called the Buteyko method of breathing. So when you're breathing with a mask, you're actually producing carbon dioxide, which is the whole process that's not beneficial for our body. But when you actually use the Buteyko method of breathing, B-U-T-Y-E-K-O method of breathing, you're actually creating a different cadence in the way that you breathe that could use your gas exchange appropriately so that you can actually get oxygen and be healthier. So going back to school, it's necessary in the sense that the children need the mental stimulation and they need to be out of fear. F-E-A-R right now is the worst depressive thing that anybody can have. I think we need to have a lot more light in our lives. We need to be a lot more cognitively aware of what's going on. Ask questions, use common sense, ask questions. If it's a law that you have to wear a mask, then do what you need to do, but understand how and why you're using it and know how to go about circumventing the cons of wearing a mask, because there are pros, but there are cons also. Do what's best for you. But remember, again, you could be protecting somebody, you've got to protect you. So there's a give and a take, and love each other, love yourself, ask questions, read up on it, and follow what is best. You've got to breathe, you've got to swallow, you've got to breathe oxygen, you've got to be able to function, and we've got to keep going on. Life has not stopped. We have to continue, and we united we stand. God bless.